What did you do, man?
Just go like this.
Tonight, we're talking shocks. Were you not able to get the preload off?
No, I can't. There's too much pressure on it. It's dirty, and it's tight, and when I try to turn it, the whole dang thing moves, so.
What happens when you go to KOH and have sand and dirt and everything left? We're going to go through these bypass shocks. We're going to revalve them. We're going to modify the valving. We actually want to change it up a little bit and add a rate plate.
What plate?
Rate plate. The rate plate is going to allow us to run a modified shim stack that's a little bit softer on the get-go, but then it's going to stiffen up and limit how far the shim stack can blow open. And then we'll control the rest of it with the bypass tubes. When we were at KOH, we were a little bit soft. Oh, there it is. Watch yourself.
Man, I literally need just to drop it.
I'm gonna change my pants.
Didn't follow him. Record everything.
Gotta rebuild some bump stops. These are a set of FOA 2.5 inch, but we're gonna rebuild these for customer. We're gonna change the valve stack in them. The customer is actually using them as partially a shock, but the bump is doing more than a bump stop. He's using it as shock dampening as well. So the valving is a little heavy for that. So we're gonna modify that and put some new seals in here and ship them back. You always wanna make sure your pressure's out of these things. Can't tell you how many shocks I've rebuilt and bumps and everything and exploded all over the wall. Our top seal cap off. We're gonna look at the fluid. We'll probably put some different fluid in it. You always got to be careful too when you put it in the vise. Don't squeeze it, you'll warp the cans. There we go. Think about rebuilding shocks, bumps, or anything like that. There's no shortage of messes. This is the puck. This is the valves. We're going to revalve this, new seals, and put back together. Joe, can you toss me a can of brake clean? This seal is shot. The rest of the seals aren't in bad shape, but we're going to go through and look at them one by one. We're looking for any abnormal wear. This one looks like it's in good shape. And the O-rings don't look bad. Pop those off. They actually look to be in really good shape. But we're going to replace them anyways. This is the seal head. And Joe's like, what? Shiny? This is the seal head. External seals. And then you have an internal wiper seal here. And we're going to put all new ones on. We need some new seals for this. Here they are. A couple differences here. This is a rubber Buna seal. Buna. And this is a Viton seal. This is going to hold up to more abuse than this. So we're going to swap this for this. But first, I need some. This is a special O-ring lube. One thing about seals, different chemicals do different things to different seals. So if you use the wrong chemical, it can actually make the seals expand or even contract, which ultimately make it leak. This is a special O-ring seal that's designed to make them extremely slippery for install.
Daniel, he violated me. I'll show you on a doll where he touched me.
Why do you have a doll? We're seated using our O-ring lube. And now, we'll just slide right on. And that easy, we have rebuilt the seal head. All we have left to do is we're going to change the wiper seal out. And this helps prevent dust, or really any buildup of any kind, getting in contact with the main seal. Ow! Don't stab yourself in the hands with these, they hurt. How's it going, Joe?
I am putting the linkage back on.
The shift linkage?
Yeah.
I just need somebody who loves me.
So the wiper seal is often a little more of a pain to get out because they're stiffer and they see more of the element. Ah, just like that, it's out. We're gonna put some lube on it. Joe, what are we using? Lube. Okay, we're gonna make shirts that just say lube and have Joe's face on it.
No. Here, Alex. Souvenir.
Ah! So we've got that put back, got the seal head done. We got the valve stack here. Normally with bumps, you don't get too crazy, but because this is being used as partially a shock and it's going to be engaging very quickly, we don't want it to be super rough. So we're gonna do something a little creative with the valve stack. We've got our valve stack put back together. We're gonna put our nut on, a little bit of red Loctite. Torque it down, and we're good. Okay, so we've got our bump back together. We have the seal housing, seal head, and valving and everything back together, ready to go on. We have our internals rebuilt, ready to go. The top cap we went through, put new seals on, checked everything out, cleaned it out, and we're ready to put this back on. Red Loctite this on here, put this all back, fill it up, and we're done. All right. We'll make sure the seal head has before we put this in. We're gonna fill it up. Last but not least, our wear band. Look how smoothly that just slides right in there. Now we gotta reinstall. So put our snap ring in, thread our top cap on, and we're done. Okay, now that we've gone through, cycled it, made sure everything was smooth and happy. We're going to pressurize it. We're going to go ahead and go up to 200 psi because we want a little more pressure than what you typically be running to make sure all the seals are seated and everything is happy. And we're using nitrogen. When we rebuild things, we'll pressurize them to about 200 psi and then we'll let it sit for a day to make sure everything's happy and everything's sealed. At this point, this bump is done and thus concludes our bump rebuild. How far did you grind?
I did grind on the pan about 1/16 of an inch, probably more than we needed, but there's still plenty of structure there, and it's just through the. Just fine. It's a little spongy at the bottom, but it was before too.
That's third, second, first. It's not touching. That's why I said it's just so close.
That is our tolerance. Everything on this car.
I think I'm confused.
Maybe.
Come on, man. Shift through there. Tell me if you feel it. I'm like paranoid. Jeez.
That locks in right there, man.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. It's just hard to tell the way it's gated and clicks.
Yeah. Just see what happens when you go out and run.
You got a fire extinguisher just in case?
I can get one. Yes, because I did clean with brake clean. It has been a while.
I'm welding very close to the
saw one.
engine and training. There's a little bit of transmission fluid down there, and I'd rather not burn the car to the ground. So don't go all Iron Man on me.
Joe, your jacket's making me pretty hungry.
You like when?
What's on your jacket?
Got, what is that? Some sausage, a
I
pizza,
have no idea. It was $2.
a bell pepper.
So I don't know.
For real? That doesn't clear that?
There's just no way. Even if I pull the bolt, it's not gonna, or pull the nut off, it ain't gonna do it. It's gonna run right into the linkage.
Why didn't you think about this before I welded it? Oh, crap. It wouldn't be as big a deal at the moment if we had the other one in there. We just fix
Well,
it.
it's easy enough. We'll just remove the transmission every time we need to pull a shaft.
Can you just pull that nut off and slide it past, or no?
No, that's what I just said. You got the edge of the, because the edge of the linkage is right here.
Well, crap.
I'm sorely disappointed because Burger King took away the $10 or the $1 10-piece nuggets. Now they're $1.50, and believe it or not, that extra 50 cents makes quite a difference.
Why?
Because I can no longer walk into Burger King with a $10 bill and get like 90 nuggets at once.
Alex, why would anybody eat 90 nuggets?
Why wouldn't you eat 90 nuggets?
That's a lot of nuggets.
That's a lot of nuggets. That's disgusting.
That's economical.
90 nuggets for $10 is economical. That's a lot of chicken nuggets.
Okay.
Missing a nut. Oh, here's one.
You having a good time over here, Joe?
Maybe. In a minute. Oh! How about some warning?
I'm not gonna hurt you. The car's on top.
Okay, but I don't know that it is.
That's the point, silly.
Don't like games.
You like surprises?
Not ones like that.
Okay.
What did you do, man? That should not have come down that far.
Why did that come down so fast?
Why did it come down so far?
I don't know what happened. Now that we have everything connected, you can't rotate the front drive shaft without the front end being in the air.
There it goes. Whoa, okay, stop. No, stop. Go, 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 go. Stop.
How's the clearance?
Well, apparently it's good because nothing happened.
I always knew there'd be little things on this car we have to figure out, but it's not been too bad so far. Me and Joe have this amazing ability that we find the hardest way to do something.
Oh, no.
And that's how we do it.
Me and Daniel have this ability to, I find a very perfect spot where I'm happy, and he goes, tries to make it better.
I do. 99% of the time, it is not better.
You want it right there?
Little clockwise.
My clockwise? Like that?
Is it clear in there?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get that bolt drill.
All right, you work on that. I'm trying to finish up this real quick. But that's the side that matters.
Well, yeah, it's got to get wrapped and finish it up. See how she fits.
Now the car can breathe.
What do you think, Joe? You like it?
I like it.
All
What are you talking about? An external Torx?
Yeah, it's,
Yeah, you
it's
do.
an E. It's a Torx with a nub on it.
Yeah, with a nub? You're talking about a safety torque?
Nub.
A nub?
Nipple? You wanna call it
That's a
nipple
safety
instead?
that's a safety bit
a
that
nipple.
you're talking about.
What?
It's a nipple. It's a nipple Torx.
That is not even a tool. Are you even on the camera?
Yeah, your little head down there.
Oh, there I am.
There it is.
Why are you recording me?
Why not?
Because I said so. I did not consent to this.
Run, Alex. Run away.
Oh no! What's he gonna do?
This poor guy, he's probably gonna have a heart attack now. What do you even do, Alex?
That's a really good question.
Right? All right, so tonight we finished up the carrier bearing mounts. Joe finished up the hood. We did not get to the bypass shocks. We're gonna knock those out tomorrow. And then we got a few things left on the list, and this thing's ready to get back out and tested. But with that, we're gonna call it a night. So make sure you come back, see for more. Make sure you like this video.
And subscribe.
And hit the bell.
That was not enthusiastic, but good try.
You're not getting any more. That's all you're getting.
Can you toss me a can of brake clean? Why did you throw it up there?
We can't have nice things.
You can't throw.
Shocks. Oh, wait.